If you're interested in real estate, you can go start going to meetups or whatever it is. Like, just start going to these things and surrounding yourself with these people and just listening and trying to figure out. I think the most important step for me in getting the first deal is finding somebody to work with. If you're hesitating and you're being held up and you're just not taking that first step, like find a family member, a friend, somebody, because it doesn't even have to be an ongoing thing. It could just be a one-off deal. Just get your first flip, whatever.
Yeah, I didn't realize how easy it was, just obviously giving 25% of the money towards the deal, and then you guys just kind of figuring it out. You guys are running it. That's amazing. Wish I would have stayed there, but I got greedy and I got anxious. I was like, this is not growing fast enough. If I get in here and I start managing these units and you guys can focus on acquiring the deals, because that's not my forte.
Welcome to another Investing Right Now podcast.
Oh, what about registered nurse?
Investing registered nurse? Investing right now. Investing RN. The reason I'm doing this intro is because we have no new guests and I don't feel like I'm going to stumble quite as much as I usually do.
He knows both our names.
We have the Colin Davis, Colin from Doctor, and the it's just Jenn. 4 times.
Some amount of underscores.
4 underscores. Back for another round table. We're going to try to keep this one quick. See if we can keep ourselves under the hour limit. No, we're going to try to keep it to 30 minutes today. It's been a challenge.
I just get so excited when we talk to each other. I will say, like, we don't talk as much as we used to. So things are busy right now. Josh and I used to talk, several times. It was like daily.
I was so annoyed. I was like,
it was multiple times a day. And then it was like multiple times a day, multiple times a week. Both our wives, Jenn and Nicole, were jealous and upset.
You guys would be just sitting in the car talking to each other. I'm like, what are you doing?
We're hyping each other up.
That's it. And that's it.
And look where we are now.
That's what I'm saying.
It was not for the hyping.
We talked about on this episode, talking about getting your first deal. And step number 1, get yourself a cheerleader. That's what Josh and I found in each other. And we cheerleaded each other to the first deal, the second, and to where we are today. So that's step number 1. Get somebody.
That is step 1.
Get somebody on your bench, in your court.
There are so many times I would have quit if I didn't have Colin right there to chat back and forth with and get through some tough times. 100% I would have quit.
I would have quit too. And there's so many times that I've thought about quitting because of Josh as well. So it's like
but just under 50% on that statistic.
It's 51 positive, 49 negative. So, that keeps us in real estate. No, but it's
the same thing for nursing school too. For me, I had like 2 really good buddies, and I would have quit so many times without them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, my one buddy up here, and it's actually interesting. We did he's doing a little IV therapy thing up here, and we went to nursing school together over 10 years ago, and it's his company, and we went and did some fluids for some people at a resort up here. It was the first time we've worked together, so it was like a full circle moment. It was pretty cool, and it's in his own business, which is really awesome for what we're doing here.
But they're not good enough friends for him to invite him on the podcast.
No, he's invited. It's just a matter of getting his schedule to link up.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't think we haven't had anybody with IV therapy yet.
Oh yeah, huh? Yeah, he's doing a bunch of other stuff too, but that was one that we worked together on, so that was cool. So so getting your first deal.
There's a lot of ways to get your first deal. We were actually going to maybe debate which one each of us thinks is the best way to get your first deal.
Yeah,
both of your first deal the same way.
Well, technically it was your first deal too, but you just weren't involved.
Okay.
Except financially, you were involved financially.
I did contribute.
You're a travel nurse at the time, so I guess.
Well, not all of us might have
stayed as just the money partner. Man,
you wanted this.
I didn't know how good I had it.
Thank you, man.
Yes.
So I'll go first. I would say that the most, kind of back to what we started the episode talking about, is like, I think the most important step for me in getting the first deal is finding somebody to work with, because I maybe it's just my personality, but I've always been very adventurous, but I'm definitely a lot more adventurous if I got somebody coming along with me, whether it's traveling or moving or working, whatever it is. Like I'm down for whatever, but I'm a little hesitant or like maybe scared to do things on my own. But as soon as I can rope somebody else into it, like sky's the limit. So I think that was like my biggest hack for getting this thing going was partnering with Josh. Jen was also there.
It
Thanks.
No,
felt like the risk was cut in half, which essentially it probably wasn't because we took on some deals that we probably shouldn't have. So we took on riskier things, but like I said, yeah, it felt like the risk was cut in half.
well, and I think like it wasn't even the financial side of it as much as just like having somebody to talk things over with and bounce ideas off of, and like we were saying before, when things seem like they're going bad, to be able to talk and talk each other off the ledge and that kind of stuff. There's a huge value in that, especially for when you're getting your first deal. So that would be my, I'd say for your first deal, other than just like hopping on and educating yourself, if you're hesitating and you're being held up and you're just not taking that first step, like find a family member, a friend, somebody, because it doesn't even have to be an ongoing thing. It could just be a one off deal. Just get your first flip, whatever. My brother did it with his brother-in-law, and they were flipping houses in San Antonio, and he wouldn't have done it without him. So I think finding somebody to work with is huge.
And I'll play the other side, I guess. I think the easiest way is probably just to buy a duplex that you plan on living in. I think that's probably the easiest way because you can come in with a really low down payment. Your options are higher. I guess you can pay more for a rental property because you're not so tied to the cash on cash return and all of that. Really, you're just looking for somebody else to pay most of your mortgage. So I'll play that card, and I think that's the easiest way to get started.
And Jen, the easiest way for her was just throwing money at us and letting us go run around with it.
Yeah. I mean, that truly was the easiest way. I didn't realize that. And am I going into?
You took us for granted. That's what you're
I
going
didn't.
into right now. You took us for granted.
I no, I did not. I didn't take you for granted.
you
You
you knew
guys
it
weren't.
looked like it was. You knew that it looked hard, but you didn't realize how much harder it would be if you if you took over 33% of the company.
No, no. When I was trying to get involved, we were much smaller, and everything was very. It was manageable, kind of in Excel. Basically, we didn't have like fancy software. I think we only had like 11 units at the time when I kind of got involved. And yeah, I didn't realize how easy it was just obviously giving 25% of the money towards the deal, and then you guys just kind of figuring it out. You guys are running it. That's amazing. Wish I would have stayed there, but I got greedy and I got anxious. I was like, this is not growing fast enough. If I get in here and I start managing these units, then you guys can focus on acquiring the deals because that's not my forte. I don't have that skill. I don't really like analyzing stuff like that. I like talking about it with you guys, but that's not my skill. So I focused
even
on,
even when we talk about stuff, I get a lot of glazed looks, or she'll be like looking at her phone, and I'm like, dude.
yeah.
I've had moments where she's like, "Okay, Dad," because I'm like, "Look me in the eyes when
Oh.
I'm telling you this stuff," because I tell her I need eye contact when I'm telling you this stuff because I know if she's not like looking right at me and fully paying attention to it.
Well, I know when I need to be paying attention, and sometimes there's just too much information coming at me, and I'm trying to just get what I need. So, for
I'm
to
very
defend
similar in that
myself.
way.
Yeah, it's like Spanish. It's like people. I think they said you're truly fluent when you like dream in Spanish and you like can't tune it out and stuff. Like I can tune out when somebody's speaking Spanish. That is Jen's real estate language. Like she's very much understands it. She's like 85% fluent, but she can easily tune it out if I'm trying to tell her something.
If I quickly assess that this is not what I need right now, I just shut down,
Yeah.
shut it off. But no, we got sidetracked.
Oh yeah. So anyways, building your
Oh,
your your
Easier.
your best way to a first
oh,
deal.
so the best way, or the only way that I acquired my first deal, is to just make yourself useful. I kind of came in as like, I mean, honestly, like an assistant. Like I just asked if I could come with you guys, like on your, you guys were touring. I can't remember what property, and I was, and we had like some calls with the lawyers, and I knew you guys weren't recording, like you guys weren't taking notes.
No, it was all up here.
It was just, I kept seeing this happening. You guys were having these calls.
We were having so much fun.
And you were having
Honestly.
way too much fun
Yeah.
and not making enough money. So
We were making money.
you were, but not enough.
We made dollars.
Yeah, shoot.
So I just kind of came into the business as like a secretary, and I was just taking notes, reminding you guys things, trying to push the tasks ahead, just trying to keep things organized. And one thing kind of led to the other. Then I got involved with the management. Then I decided to take over the management so that I could take it on myself and you guys could, you know, grow the business. And I mean, I found myself with 33% of the company because I started as a secretary. So I feel like that's a pretty good strategy.
So she's downplaying it a little bit. Like, she was doing the hardest part of all of our jobs, and I mean, gladly I would give 33% away for you to keep doing what you're doing.
And I'm considering giving
And
that.
you will. And you will not stop.
She's considering selling you back
yeah.
your equity. Well, so I guess technically your first deal, you were just a cash investor,
Mm-hmm.
which
is so excellent.
That's a great way to do
it's
it.
It's such a great way if you want to keep if you want to have your free time and you want to have your weekends and you just want to don't have the stress about things, and let somebody else do the hard work. Let us do the hard work now that we're doing this. It's such a good way to just get started, and then you can kind of learn about the business and see if there's some part of the business that comes naturally to you or that you would want to get involved in. I think that would be excellent, because now I just find myself with 2 jobs, and
it all depends on what your goals are too. Like, because you're letting somebody else do the work, your cash won't grow as fast, but it's headache free. You can really focus on other things if you want to. If your goal is to get as filthy rich as possible, then you're going to have to do all the work.
Right.
And do most of it, especially.
And that is why we were managing. That's why we were self-managing. In the beginning, we couldn't afford to hire third-party property management. And then by the time we could afford that, we actually did try with a couple of properties. It went terribly. We saw how inefficient that was. We were still roped into the day-to-day stuff, and it was just as much of a headache. Plus, we were paying someone else's salary. So it just turned out to be the best thing for our business, especially for us managing mobile home parks. That was another kind of class that was even more difficult for some property management companies. So depending on what you're managing, you might find yourself in a place where it makes sense to do it yourself. So that's where we are today.
Yeah. So I'd say, like, on Jenn's, so cash investor first. Her other thing was, like, if you don't have cash and you have a skill, which she did, and soon she didn't have cash either. So then, the skills became more important. But she very much, and obviously, like, we're all family. We were all kind of in business together already as it was. But, back to the partner thing, if you've got somebody, and like the cash thing's great. Like, Josh loves his job, makes good money. If you got a good nursing job you like and you're happy doing it, and you just kind of want a little passive income, or maybe you want to set yourself up better for the long term, like the cash investor, just throwing a little extra, maybe working a few extra shifts a month, throwing all that money into an investment, that's actually passive investing in income. But
and I think if I had known about some of these other ways to grow my money passively, I might not have actually gotten into it. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't know about them until we were already building our company.
Yeah, now it's too late. We're stuck.
I'm in too deep.
Yeah. But the other side of it is, like, Jenn. So she saw within our company that there was no organization, there was no real system in place for anything. Other than, I think, like we talked about before, it was like, get rich or die trying. And we knew that. That was the system we had, and it was working.
But have a good time either way.
Yeah. Yeah, like, if we had lost everything, I probably wouldn't have had that many, like, now we got more to lose, but early on, if we had lost everything, I would just be like, yeah, it was worth it. Like, we had a good time.
Yeah.
Let's try again. I very quickly lose everything again. Out of it.
Oh my goodness, you sucked all the fun out of it. It used to be so fun.
This is so true.
Josh and I would just be like, "Oh, golf. Let's go play golf.
You
Business
guys-
trip."
Yeah, I swear I would hear your business calls. You guys are just laughing and giggling, and I was like, oh, I was so frustrated. It's like, what is happening?
Oh, she just, yeah. She came in.
Sorry.
She was like,
I'm sorry.
systems,
But
and
how much bigger is the portfolio now?
not as big as it could have been.
More than 10 times bigger.
Yeah.
And it's been 2 years since you came
You're
in.
welcome.
Yeah.
Right? About 2 years?
No, I guess
crazy.
No, not even.
it's been longer than 2 years. Yeah.
Sounds better.
Well, technically she came in on that Tomahawk deal, and that was like, that was 2022, 21.
I think that might have been early 2022.
No, it was 21 because we were in Wisconsin and we were managing it and just still foolish. Even once she came in, it took a while for her to figure out what was going on and figure out the systems. And like one thing we've not been shy about is like using technology. And I think we didn't do enough due diligence. We're too fast to spend money on that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's what's helped us dial things in, and just through trial and error.
We're definitely not afraid to increase efficiency, even if it costs a few extra dollars.
And even if it doesn't increase efficiency.
but we're willing to give it a try if there's a chance it increases efficiency.
Right. We are definitely open to trying new things other than AI, which is robots. But
oh no, I'm using AI.
No, but yeah, even now we're using and like AI, right? So I'm very anti AI just because I do think that eventually we will be having this conversation from prison cells guarded by robots. But I think so again, throwing money at our problems. We're getting ready to hire our guy next week. He's coming up here to train with us, and even just creating like a job description and a offer letter. It was just like AI, just like Chat GPT, create an offer for blank, and then just spits it out. Jen was even asking me. She goes, "Hey, I want you to be my trainer. Help me design like a fitness training program." And I went in AI, and I was like, I think I just put like design a training program for a nurse that works full time that wants to work out 3 days a week, and like I put in these things, and it just like pumped out this whole thing. And then I was like, more gym equipment, and then it just like boom does another thing. So as much as I hate it, there's some definite positives to it.
There's so many ways.
So you know the Sphere in Las Vegas. I had a friend who just went down there recently, and he said there's actual like machine robots that are AI that you can talk to and ask questions and stuff, and they'll answer you.
I won't talk to them.
I believe you. I believe that you won't go there.
That Sphere thing alone freaks me out. That I don't know how they're like not just dragging people out of there having seizures all the time. That looks absolutely insane.
It's crazy.
I mean, it looks cool, but it's like, you want to know what it's like to be a fish in a bowl, like looking out. It's like, please, I'm good.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I know. It's just weird. I don't like crowds either, so that's part of the problem.
I'm probably gonna go there. That stuff interests me.
Yeah, I'll be outside watching it.
We'll find out if I have a seizure disorder pretty quick.
I don't know. It's strange, but I think just by having a skill, bringing a skill if you don't have the money, and essentially making yourself indispensable like Jen did, and then just negotiating.
I think that's a really hard one though. Everybody says you like bring value to somebody else. How do you find a partner? Oh, you got to bring value to them. I think it's really hard to actually figure out what you're good at, especially when you're first starting.
Yeah.
So I don't know what do you guys think about that? Like Jennifer found out pretty quick, but me and Colin really didn't figure out what we were good at until later. We just knew each other.
We're good at having a good time and buying $35,000 houses. Cash. Jen?
What?
No advice? I mean, there's a lot of meetups I guess you could go to, and if you're a fly on the wall for long enough, maybe you can figure out something you enjoy.
I guess you just like listening, because that's kind of how I was able to pick out where I could help. I just was listening, to your conversations. I was kind of just observing how you were doing things, and I was just like, well, I know that I could do that much better. So I like, not necessarily that I had the property management skill, but I just knew that I can be organized, and I could, on important conversations, I was like, I could at least remember what we needed to get from that conversation and make sure that those things happen. So I don't know. It's just, yeah, I think it's just paying attention. And if you are looking for the opportunity, yeah, just, you have to network a little bit. And I'm not sure how you'd end up connecting with, like a partner, but you're essentially just kind of like looking for partners and seeing where, looking for, I guess, different strengths and,
Well, yeah, and
yeah,
like,
complementing strengths and weaknesses. And I mean, we all have weaknesses. We want to make sure we don't all have the same ones in a business.
but like you were saying about the meetups, Josh, like I think that's, I when you're trying to do something, like it is good to surround yourself with people that are doing that same thing. So if you're interested in real estate, you can go start going to meetups or whatever it is. Like just start going to these things and surrounding yourself with these people and just listening and trying to figure out, and just by talking, like initially you don't even have to be going in there with the plan to like insert yourself into somebody's business, but just listening to people and talking to people and hearing where they're struggling, and then kind of thinking of like, oh, hey, maybe I could fill that void based on this skill that I have. And but you're not going to know that unless you're out there talking to people. And like in Jen's case, you know, we're married, and then, you're her brother, so she was involved with it there. But if you don't have that going on, then you got to go out and seek that. But it's worth it.
And I also think it's important, if you're working as a nurse, that you're trying to strengthen skills or create skills or develop your skills outside of nursing. So if you're, well, if you are working and that's all you do within nursing, I mean, those are a certain skill set, but you got to develop some other things if you're looking to get into business, because I feel like nursing doesn't really set you up for
Yeah,
business. So you got to
Yeah.
be trying to do some other things or cultivate some other skills that you can use.
that's true. Yeah, I guess we never really talk about how much. Actually, I think we have talked about it, but how much education we actually put into this before we actually bought our first deal. Like between the three of us, thousands of hours of podcasts for sure.
Yeah.
I
Oh
think I
yeah.
had 1,000. I'm sure you guys had a couple thousand between the two of you.
Yep. Yeah. Books, YouTube, tons of ways. There's so much to learn from.
Yeah. No, but it is, and I think like it's kind of tough because like the people always talk about when you're doing something, just talking about it, because you never know who you'll run into that's into the same thing. And I've definitely seen that, but I also think it's hard to like talk about stuff without coming across the wrong way. So doing it in a tasteful way. But if you're interested in something, just somehow striking up those conversations with people at work, because inevitably somebody else will be interested in what you're looking to do and might already be doing that thing. Because I've seen that. I'll be talking to one person about what we're doing, and then somebody else chimes in and, oh yeah, I have like 2 rental properties here, and I would have never known that had I not been talking about it. So that is a good way to, asking questions, just talking, letting people know what you're interested in and what you're trying to get into. You just never know
Yeah,
who you're going to run into there.
yeah, and like while you're picking your mentor, or talking to people, there's people that buy real estate. That are just playing the long game. Like I guess that's kind of what our strategy was at the beginning. And then there's people that actually turn it into a business. Depending on what you want, you should probably talk to either one or the other. Not so much both of them as much.
Well, and even if it's even if it's not real estate, like whatever it is, like digital products like Amazon. Like I know people do these Amazon things. Vending machines were big for a while. um
Laundromats,
yeah, whatever it is, business.
so many things.
There's so many different things. So if you're into something, like, yeah, like finding that person that's doing that, I feel like I think maybe because of the schedule, the nursing schedule, not what Jen's doing, the 5/8, but the 3/12 schedule lends itself well to having hobbies and interests outside of nursing. So there's a lot of people doing something, whatever thing it is. One girl I know, she collects and sells vintage clothing. and that's her side hustle, and it's cool. It's a hobby slash side hustle. Jen was doing photography, wedding photography, family photo shoots. So there's tons of different things you could do. Yeah,
Yes, there is.
they
Lots of
show is.
things.
But yeah, just getting out there. So
I feel like we're close enough to 30 minutes to call it right
No,
here.
we're good.
well, we should talk about this new thing.
Oh yeah, for those faithful followers,
Oh yeah, who stuck
we
around
have.
till minute 25?
Did we say we were gonna say something? Did we say something about this already?
No.
Oh, yeah. For those faithful followers, we have a little freebie for you guys: a investing RN property management planner. This has, yeah. Well, I guess just go to IG and download it. Actually, I'm not going to say too much about it. It's just it'll help you, especially when you're starting out. It'll help you keep things a little more organized. Something that would have been nice for us to have back when we were starting. But yeah, go to Instagram. It'll be a freebie on there. You can download it right from the app.
And then potentially you can save yourself when your wife slash whatever sister-in-law or sister, whatever she might be to you. Not your wife's sister, but your sister wife, wife or sister tries to take your company from you.
Or just take the company.
I know. We gotta be extra careful now.
We had to give her 33% because she was just going to go around us, build her own company, and make it way better than ours. So
Still might.
still might.
She won't admit it, but she actually does need us. So I guess last thing for this episode, I don't know where things are at right now, but so back to talking to people about what you're doing. I had a patient last night that was there, and just in talking, it was late, and we were talking about stuff, and I was asking if they need a work note, and they were like, no, we work from home. So I was just like, what do you guys do? And they were mortgage brokers, and they were saying that they can lend on mobile home parks, which I was really excited about. And B, they were saying that the rates right now are coming down, and that I think they were saying they're seeing 5% already, and they're expecting it to either stay there, or I don't know if they're saying they would stay there or come down more. But with the election coming up, they think that there's going to be some rate drops, and depending on who gets elected, who knows what'll happen, if it'll stay that way or if it'll go back up or come down even more. I don't know, but
It's already down to 5 right now, 5.0.
that's what they said. They said they were seeing 5% currently.
And that was just for commercial, or was that just for residential, like first-time home buyers?
I didn't ask. Well, we were trying to talk, but the guy was like having chest pain or whatever, so
So lame.
I was just like, okay, sorry. Apparently you don't want to talk too much about this, but
Fine, I'll give you some nitro. What's the acronym for that? Mona.
Oh, yeah, Mona. Giving a
Is it still
little
Mona?
giving a little Mona. I don't think we'd never actually do the full Mona. It's
Straight to cath lab.
no,
Yes,
it's
we do. Morphine, oxygen, nitro.
I
Aspirin? Did you ever give aspirin though?
no. So we always give
No.
aspirin,
Oh,
oxygen,
Oh yeah, I forgot the aspirin. Whatever.
nitro, yes. So I'd say we do a lot.
We didn't.
The Mo, it just depends. Yeah. I mean, if they're having like a proper heart attack, sure, yeah, Mona. But like, yeah.
When you're talking about lending in mobile home parks in the middle of your heart attack, it's just more nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Anyway, so it's interesting. We'll see what they what.
And this is actually one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to keep buying, because even though maybe we had some skinny deals, I knew at some point things were going to come down. They were not like, even back in the 80s when things were 15%, they came down. Even if we had to wait 20 years, they came down to 3%.
Oh yeah.
There's no way that there will be one other time in our lifetime where interest rates are that low again. 3 to 5, easy.
Yeah.
And if we have a bunch of assets that are, who cares if they're thin? If they're cash flow positive, then we'll just refinance when they come down.
Yeah. Well, and like these deals that we just locked in at 7% or 7.5%. I think a couple of them were like 7.5%.
I was actually looking at them earlier. Yeah, I think we have one at 7.9 even.
Yeah, so if we can go and refinance that like from 5 to 6, that immediately increases our cash flow tremendously. I mean, not tremendously, but decently. we'll all retire.
A little bit.
We will all retire.
Oh,
If we
thank
go to
God.
0%, that's it. Everybody's getting T-shirts and drinks on me.
Drinks on the house.
Come on up to Napa, wine tasting on us. But yeah,
So
it's
it's for the good of the people.
yeah. But it is interesting, and like to the point of continuing to buy, negotiating deals at 7 to 9%, or 7%, 8%, you're competing with a lot less people than you are at 4 and 5% interest rates. So we get locked in at a good price, then refinance when the rates come down, and we're sitting.
Now we have the control.
What if the
We don't have
rates
to
continue to go
renegotiate.
up though?
Well, we underwrite for that. Like we underwrite for the rates to go up. So worst case scenario, we're all right. But I think the equity is keeping up with
Right.
the
Well, and
increasing rate. So long term, we're fine.
what's the highest interest rate ever that we've seen in the last 100 and something years? It was like
It was like
16,
1,000,
right? Or was it 18?
I don't know.
Even still, like that would hurt pretty bad. But even still, that would.
No,
Yeah,
we're
we would
definitely not
struggle.
underwriting
We'd be
for
done.
16 to 18%. At that point, we will be picking up
Yeah.
extra shifts, and I'll be going back to school and all that. But
also, like, remember what was going on during that time. That's not now.
yeah, no.
I was about to say that was the Great Depression, but that
I would
definitely
say,
wasn't
what
the
was
Great
going on
Depression.
that time, Josh?
Yeah, what was happening, Joshua?
Well, actually, inflation was at like, I don't know, high. It was at high.
Oh.
World War I,
Yeah.
World War II.
In the 80s? No.
Yeah.
I was never a history buff. I was a nursing buff. No, I don't like the way that sounds either.
Yeah,
Also,
really
you
into
are not.
math.
That's true. This is true.
That's what's going on. But yeah, I'm excited. I think we could go for some rate. We're not quite at a point where we're ready to refinance everything, so
True. They could wait a little bit.
I don't mind if they wait a little bit. But if we want to go buy something new, I'm down.
Down.
Let's
We would
get our,
actually a
let's get
rate
our
drop
employee
before
up
next
and
June
running.
would be primo
Yeah. Oh yeah.
because we do have to refinance before next June on our first two mobile home parks.
Yeah. And
But
on
we
the
don't have
last,
to.
I think the last roundtable we were talking about how we're focusing on optimizing like our current portfolio and filling the lots. But just after today talking about like the beginnings and how fun it was, like let's go buy more. I'm down. I think
Let's
Jenn will
do it.
figure it out. She's
Oh,
got an employee
thanks.
now. She can have him help. I say we
That
just
didn't last long.
buy.
Buy now while rates are still above 5%.
I know. Filling empty pads is not as fun as buying new parks. I'm sorry. I'm a sucker for the deal. I like
Not
the
even
deal.
close. Even though that increases the cash flow.
Doesn't matter. It's not
Substantially.
fun.
It's not fun.
There's no negotiation. There's no
That's true.
back and forth and everything. It's just like, can you put a pad in? Yeah, I can do concrete, $8,000. Okay, do it. Can you bring it home? Yeah, I can do it for this much. Okay, bring it. It's just, I don't know. Although there was some negotiation in the homes that we're bringing in, because originally it was like we had to buy what 6 to 10.
6 to. I mean, he was pushing for 10. He didn't even really let us have 6.
Yeah, and then it was supposed to be like in one park, and we got him to do it over 2 or 3 parks, and then it was 4, and then when we were just kind of, and we weren't even trying to weasel this guy down or anything. It was just like we weren't ready for bringing on 4 to 6 homes immediately.
Yeah, he needed to make some sales. I was like, well, this is what we can do right now, or we can wait.
Yeah, and so now
So what was the final deal?
we're starting off with 2, which just lets us like figure the process out, figure out how to bring these things in, what it's actually going to look like, and it's a lot lower cost up front. And then I'm sure by the time we're getting ready to bring in the next 2 to 4 homes, we'll already have some prospects to buy or rent out these first ones we're bringing in. So I think it's going to end up working out great.
4 new ones coming in ASAP, and then a couple more next summer, hopefully.
So if you're looking for a luxury mobile home 16 by 24, which is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 16 by 24, which is like 300 square feet. That's what Josh was advertising to us.
but what? It's 16 by 80, right?
I think it's like 16 by 64. So it ends up being like 1,000 or 1,100 square feet.
Yeah,
Of
but it's on a
premium.
lake. It's on a lake.
Premium mobile home
Lake
living.
front.
Yeah. So
Brand new.
Nice.
let us
2025
know.
model. No, it's a 2024 model. We
Ugh.
got this year's model.
All right.
All right.
Well, thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. See you on the next one.